Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today with the good old NFL coverage going into week 2 of the 2025 season. I just realized, honestly, that I forgot to grab a drink. I left it over in the other room as I was finishing up my notes coming into this. What I want to do, honestly, is just look back over the last week of football. Week 1, honestly, in the NFL was really, really fun. Honestly, I believe I went 11-5 in my picks. I honestly felt like we had, honestly, a pretty good week. But I think I watched 5 football games and I listened to one while I was at work. I can honestly remember we kicked off the season with the Dallas game, um, going up against the Eagles. The game was close, but I think it's going to be a really tough year for the Cowboys, as it is for the Cowboys each and every year. I think that they're going to have their ups and they're going to have their downs. They really want to find their identity. I really think that I think they know it, but they need to find their defensive unit after trading Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. I think they took a huge step back, and as well as they made the Green Bay Packers, they pretty much look like a Super Bowl favorite as of now. I understand that it was just a contract; it was about money, and them wondering what Micah Parsons' worth really is. The guy's taking epidurals in order to play football. What is the long lasting effect of that going to be as he's taking hits and giving hits each and every week? Um, I just don't see the longevity of him being able to do that. At what point does he have to be able to shut it down? And what is that going to do to the Packers in the foreseeable future? On Friday night, we had our first YouTube game. I thought that the coverage was really well. I watched it on YouTube TV for the fear of maybe YouTube having glitches, losing the stream or something like that. Just the fact that it was through the television service, I thought that it might hold up better. But from everybody that I talked to that watched it either on their phone or on their television using the YouTube app, it was basically perfect. I heard that NBC was the people that shot it and put it out for them. They just didn't have their commentators doing the game, but that was a fun one. And Justin Herbert, I think he answered a lot of critics. I think he still has a long way to go. But winning the battle in the AFC West over Mahomes, the Chiefs, go ahead and start counting them down. I mean, 0-1. Are you ready to say that this isn't a Super Bowl team? Every single time we doubt this team, they find a way to get it together and come back. There's no way in the world. I don't care if the Chiefs start 0-2 to start this season. I still think that I would put them up there with the Bills as well as the Ravens. And I would think that we'd have to watch the whole football game to find out who's going to come out on the long run. 49ers ended up playing the Seahawks. That was a really close game, as we'll get to with pretty much the lead of week 2. Niners got injured. Niners got really injured. We came into that game pretty banged up, and we left even more banged up. We have a team built on stars, and a lot of our stars are down. But we came from behind. We ended up having our backup tight end Tongan catch a pass that I still don't know how Purdy got it to him. I don't know how he got around a defender in order to catch the ball. This is a tight end. This is our blocking tight end, not the guy who normally catches the ball. I'm sure he had, catches in high school. He might even have been a part of the offense in college. But for the 49ers, we really didn't have plays for this guy. And it was almost like a playground, let's run around and somebody get open kind of play that we did it. It was a big day for our offense. It was a big day for our defense, something that is our biggest question marks on the upcoming season. But it's a long way from now, and we'll have to see where it goes from there. I kind of buried the lead. I did listen to the Raider game versus the Patriots. Um, I believe that the NFL they they need to get their stuff on TV. No more infomercials running. I think that the NFL, I understand you want to sell Sunday ticket, you want to, you have people signing up for that, and then more money coming into the league. But television rights are television rights, and they're worth a lot of money. There should always be two games going at the same time. One on CBS, one on Fox. I understand that you want to make the Fox game um in the afternoon. One of the bigger games of the weekend that's going to rival against Sunday night football to keep you the ratings. There should just be two games on. It's not that I'm knocking against the Raiders and the Patriots, that they were the only game on. I don't even know what other game I would have liked to be on. Probably the Commanders game against the Giants, to see this Commanders team, but I don't know. I thought the Raiders' offense was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Um, the Patriots, I thought, were going to be a much better team. Raiders came out with the win there. There was that one. The Sunday night game between the Ravens and the Bills is going to go down as one of the most craziest games that I have ever seen. I I was sitting on my couch and the score was 40-25 when the Ravens scored. And I said, "Well, that's it. I live on the West Coast. My alarm goes off 4:15 a.m. every morning for me to get up, and I basically give myself minimal amount of time to get ready and get out the door. One of the main reasons is because I don't want to wake anybody up, and it's freaking early in the morning. Um, so I was laying there and I was like, man, I need to get up. And I need to get into bed. It's gonna be an early morning today, and then we'll see what's going down. And somehow in the midst of me trying to get up, the Ravens gave up a touchdown to the Bills. And I was like, well, this honestly got a little bit closer. Um, so I was like, let's see what's going to happen. And I honestly thought it was going to be like the rest of the game, and the Ravens were just going to drive down the field and score a touchdown again. And I was going to be like, see, I told you, you should have gone to bed. And then Derrick Henry fumbled the football. I think after that, I think it was the Bills scoring a touchdown. The Bills defense got a hold. Well, not a holding penalty, but they stopped the Ravens. The Ravens had to punt the ball, and the Bills drove down, kicked the field goal to win the game. I apologize if I missed something in the meme, but Coleman came up huge for the Bills. It seemed like he caught just about every ball. When they needed to get out of bounds, they got out of bounds. When they needed to move the ball, they moved the ball. Man, that was a fun game. Ravens, they start out the season 0-1. I can't remember what the Ravens record was at the beginning of the season last year. I think they were 0-2. Maybe they were 1-2. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But tough draw week one. I think they really stacked the deck in the NFL this week, and they gave us a lot of rivalry games, a lot of in division games that they knew that people were going to want to care about. Monday night's game between the Vikings and the Bears honestly was a come down game. I was watching wrestling at the same time I was watching the first half of the game, and it just honestly wasn't exciting. Vikings looked horrible in the first half. Vikings probably looked horrible in the first three quarters. And then all of a sudden, J.J. McCarthy realized who he was. Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, they looked really, really good on their first drive at the game. And after that, what I thought was going to be the most important part of the 2025 Bears season, the offensive line, the Bears just fell apart. That's probably honestly the best way there was to put it. Vikings came back. Vikings won that game 27-24. A lot of the stuff I listened to sports wise is through Barstool Sports. A lot of the stuff is coming out of Chicago. I love Eddie. I love Chief. I love Big Cat. I even love White Sox Dave. And the post game report, I almost couldn't turn it on the next morning. It hurt to see Big Cat and Eddie on Wake Up Barstool Tuesday morning. I've been there before, man. It sucks. Last year, they really didn't like their coach, but the Bears thought they were going to get better because they brought in Caleb Williams. The offensive line really didn't help them. They really couldn't get anything out there. Now there's reports about the coaching staff, about how bad it was for Caleb, and they really didn't help him out his rookie season. Hopefully, they can get something in place and they can fix this. That's about the only thing I can say. I think their team is better, but it might be a bit before I can pick the Bears again. But that was week one in the NFL.